Hello, fabulous friends and fans. Welcome to your horoscope for the week of March 28th, 2015. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. What an amazing week we have ahead. It's a week of changes. It's a week where the universe is determined to put us on a path towards greater love, greater wisdom, and also towards a more loving life, a life that feels more rewarding, a life that is more in alignment with a higher vision for our life. Lots of big things are coming up this week, and it starts first and foremost with the fact that we are going to have Venus speaking in supreme harmony with Pluto. Now, early in March, Venus spoke in tension with Pluto, and I remember at the time saying, and I said this in some of the monthly horoscopes as well, depending on how dominant this energy would have been for you. I said, this conversation is coming up. I know it might feel tough, but don't worry about it. Any bumpiness that comes up early in the month will find its resolution in the late part of the month. Before the month is out, Venus will speak in harmony with Pluto, and this is where real change and transformation and the kind of love that reaches right into your heart and has the potential to create a metamorphosis, facilitate a catharsis towards a whole new understanding of yourself, of love, of what you are worthy of experiencing and living. All of that is promised under this sky. So trust the process that gets you there. Well, here we are. We're at the end of March. This conversation is now going to take place, what astrologers call a trine. And I think, as I look at this, that we really have the potential now to set right what might have felt before difficult or confusing, what might have felt before like a lack of understanding or a lack of opportunity. Now we understand how we can move forward, and we understand more clearly what it is that we love and what is worth moving towards, what and whom we actually love, and behaving from that space. So this is a time when a lot of hurts from the past can be put behind us, whether it's hurt that you've been holding on to of something that was long over before, or whether it is some hurt that's been happening with somebody that you're currently in a relationship with, romantic or otherwise. This is going to be a chance to set things right and to make decisions going forward that truly resonate as effective and also as very purposeful and also very loving. What we're having happen around the same time is that Mercury is going to speak with Saturn in supreme harmony as well. Again, earlier in March, we had Mercury speaking in tension with Saturn. And I remember at that time saying, as Mercury was meeting Neptune and speaking with Saturn, I said, okay, that gave us a little glimpse collectively of what we can expect going forward once Saturn and Neptune perfect their conversation. Well, now the energy starts to change, and we start to see some of the better stuff that Saturn has to offer, because wherever Saturn goes, there are gifts, there are blessings. Yes, there's some hard stuff too. There's a need for us to really pay dues. Yes. Saturn's not always easy, usually not easy, I will say, but always rewarding and always gives us what we deserve. And if we truly deserve the very best, the best does come. And now this is going to be a chance to get a glimpse of that. What is the result of the work, of doing that work, whether it's internal work that you're being called to do or changing your life in an external level? What does that look like? This is a really great sky for creating a plan towards real stability, practical progress that moves us forward in a very clear way and in a way that is likely to help us to create a structure from which to grow something strong and that we can truly be proud of. Great day to have a power talk, and great day also to sit down with somebody that you're hoping to make a plan with for the future and iron out some details. So really good sky for that. What we also have happening this month is we are going to have Mercury change signs and Mars change signs as well. So Mercury this week, just before Mercury speaks with Saturn, will move into the sign of Aries, and Mars will move into the sign of Taurus this week as well. So big changes planned. Wherever Mercury goes, so goes our attention, our most immediate attention, and it sort of starts to signify how it is that we collectively are processing information. But also it speaks to, look, Mercury is also the news. So it speaks to On the one hand, how news is going to be delivered, the type of news stories that are going to captivate us, and also speaks to buying in general. So it's the act of buying. And it speaks to what type of stuff are people buying? What type of stuff are people going to the stores to get? And so when we have Mercury moving into Aries, this is about sports. This is also, I gotta say, Aries is the sign also of the police and of the military, also the athletics, as I said. It's the sign for really standing up for what you believe in, what you think is right, and embracing whatever your personal sacred fight is. Now, I'm of the belief that when we look at how we understand that term, it is very relative as well. How do you understand your sacred fight? Well, it can also just be, what is it that you want to survive for? What are you moving towards? And what are you willing to challenge yourself and put your fears aside so that you can move towards whatever goal it is? What is your personal competition? Because the competition ultimately is only with yourself. So that's looking at this energy in a more elevated way. But in a more immediate way, these are the types of areas that we should see people paying attention to, shopping habits, how they're adjusting as well under this energy. And also just how we're communicating as well, which is likely to get a lot more in the moment, very passionate, saying something and afterwards being like, oh, what did I say? Why did I say that? What did that mean? And so, yes, in a sense, this can also be very Freudian slip energy, although I do think Mercury in Gemini can also do that quite well. But this is very Freudian slip energy as well. So do watch your words, especially if we're getting very caught up in an energy. It's easy to just talk from a place of passion and not make it clear that we're also coming from a place of opinion as well. The line can get blurred there. Later this week, towards the end of the week, that's when the really big stuff happens. Before I talk about that, let me go back and say Mars. Mars moves into Taurus. Taurus is a sign of earthly delight, of enjoying the earthly incarnation experience, and it is a sign of the five senses. So we can expect wherever Mars goes, so goes our energy, so goes our drive. And so we can expect more of us to be enjoying good food and good wine and good chocolate, as the case may be, and enjoying being alive, really. The five senses, as I said. My good friend Julie Simmons likes to say that Buddha was a Taurus, and because that whole philosophy is really based on being in the body and being aware and being present in the moment. So that's going to be part of how we are, Mars being the ruling sign, ruling planet of Aries. So that's going to be how we're dealing with that Aries energy. So while on the one hand, that Aries energy that I just spoke about on a very mercurial level will be occupying us on a level of thought, yet at the same time, there is going to be this sort of move on our part to be a little bit more present, to be a little more mindful of the consequences of our actions, but also mindful of what's happening right here, right now. And I do think that we should hear, like under a sky like this, when Mars moves into this part of the sky, we tend to care more about our experience of life. We tend to care more about things like beautiful fabrics and how they feel on our skin rather than something just worn for the effect. It's the experience, the embodiment of life and creation in the sign of enjoying being a human being. Okay, now let's fast forward. Late this week, we are going to have Jupiter speaking in supreme harmony with the Sun. Ordinarily, this is luck, right? I do believe every single one of us has luck on our side in at least one area of life. Sometimes what seems unlucky is actually supremely lucky. So I think that all of us have that on our side in one way or another. This is the sky trying to make that evident to all of us in our own way. We are going to experience a stroke of luck. However, this is happening all under and at the same time of the eclipse. And the eclipse is a lunar eclipse happening in the sign of Libra. Those people born right around the 4th or 5th of the month, give it 3 days on either side, but if you're born right around then, regardless of what month you're born in, you're going to feel this energy most. You're going to feel the luck more, but you're also going to feel the eclipse more and the potential and the possibility and the changes that this eclipse offers. Now, this eclipse will be speaking with Uranus and Pluto and Jupiter as well. To me, this eclipse speaks to the truth coming out, the truth coming forward for better or worse. Now, here's the thing with Pluto and with Uranus and with Saturn as well. Saturn speaking with Mercury at the same time as well. These planets want you to be ethical and honest and responsible. But this sky is really about wherever it is that forthrightness, that honesty, or wherever it is that maybe either us or other people have not been absolutely ethical, this is where the truth does come out. This is where things start to come forward now. And look, it's always good advice. It's always good advice to be ethical. So the more ethical you are, and the more aware you are, the more conscious you are, the more listening to your intuition you are, the more likely this energy is going to be just you being honest with yourself and being like, okay, this is the reality of the situation. This is how I actually feel. And this is where my power to change is. For others, this is going to manifest externally. A lot depends on where this configuration is happening in your chart. I'll talk about that when we look at the signs ahead. But this is really about the truth coming out. Again, swept anything under the rug, it's coming out. Didn't want to look at something, it's coming out. It's getting talked about, it's being discussed. But here's the thing, the Sun and Jupiter in supreme harmony. Jupiter in harmony with this lunar eclipse as well. And this tells me that regardless of what's tough on the surface, regardless of what doesn't feel so good in the beginning, transforms, it changes. That energy does change so that you understand the possibility and the opportunity in this. Now for the April horoscopes, they should be up right around the time of this video, of this weekly horoscope video. And in that, I really focused for all signs on this eclipse because it really is marking an important turning point for all of us in at least one area of life. So I did focus extensively on that. You are going to want to have a look at that. But also I'll touch where it's appropriate as inspiration takes me. I'll touch on it for the personal, for the week ahead as well, right here in a moment when I start looking at the signs. But it does look like a time that's going to change things, that's going to bring things out in the open so that we can start to live with a greater sense of possibility and a greater sense that more things are available to us, that actually where there were limits actually were false. We're getting clear on what we love, why we love it, and what's the best way forward from here. And our energy is changing as a result. Our approach is changing as a result. Mars moving into Taurus is asking us to be practical and is also asking us to think about the money, to think about the money more than usual at that. And so all of this put together does suggest practical plans are being made, and the truth that does reveal itself now ultimately puts us on a path towards greater achievement and greater success, however it is that you define it. Well, thank you so much for watching the introduction. I truly enjoy our interactions. Facebook, Twitter, Google+, my website, nadiyashah.com, and the YouTube comments as well. Please do keep them coming. Keep your questions coming as well. Sometimes you guys ask me questions that are a little bit more personal. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate your trust. Please do consider a personalized horoscope where I can do just that, answer your specific questions based on your individual birth chart. It would be a privilege to do so, and I appreciate doing so so much. But of course, I do hope that these videos in some way affirm to you that the universe is wise and loving, in some way affirm to you, infuse your life with some hope, some inspiration, and provide you with the omen that you need to get a clearer picture ahead, a picture that makes you more aware of how it is that the universe is moving your life towards greater love and greater wisdom as well. So how all this wonderful stuff speaks to you in your sign is coming up right now. Hello, fabulous Aries. This week we have got this eclipse happening in your opposite sign. It really is all about the eclipse. So I spoke about it at length in the April horoscopes because it is that important. This is a change in how you relate to others and your most important one-on-one relationships. And this pretty much always brings a change in relationship status. So, I mean, I have seen Aries who thought they would never get married, swore off marriage forever and repeatedly for years. meet somebody and just very quickly get engaged and even more quickly get married, like people taking off and eloping, that kind of energy for people who are completely resistant to the idea. I've also seen long-term relationships that have been going for a while. If you've been in a relationship that has been less than ideal, this is going to be truth moment. Now, what's really interesting about this energy is that it is about you looking at this other person differently. And so that could be your own truth coming out. If you've been keeping something back that you know that it connects to this person, it relates to this person, that is going to come out now. I got to be honest with you. But it's also the other way around as well. If there's something that's been kept from you, that will be revealed now. If there's something you felt coming for a while, now it comes out in the open. What we also have happening, though, this week is we've got this really supportive conversation between Mercury, now in your sign, and Saturn. So this tells me that there is a clarity and an understanding of what you want to do, where you want to go. Your vision is opening up as well. And so while change is happening on the love front, it very quickly gives way to positivity and a way forward. At the same time, we have got you thinking about yourself and your life and your plans and what you want to do. And so it seems that whatever changes do come up ultimately feel right, feel liberating, and feel like they're moving your life in a direction that feels more solid and more secure. Hello, fabulous Taurus. This week, Mars moves into your sign. So we've got you being empowered, you coming to a sense of where your power truly is. And here's the thing, it's not with other people. You have no control over other people and only control over yourself. And even that, you've got to find the right balance with. That is the sacred lesson where it comes to Mars moving into your sign. So a lot of Taurians out there are going to start feeling very fired up by their own ideas, their own plans, their own way forward, are going to be thinking about what they want to do next, where they want to go, and how they're going to move their lives there, and are feeling downright inspired by it all. There are going to be changes happening on the work front. So if you work for yourself, this is going to be your clients changing, your tasks changing. If you are in a work environment, this could be a significant change among your coworkers as well, very likely with a female, because this is a lunar eclipse at that. But it does look like changes, truths coming out, things coming out in the open. It's a really long time coming. This is going to shake things up to bring fresh energy in that ultimately is going to lead you towards feeling more safe and more secure within your own self, especially if you're a person who has a home-based business. If you have a home-based business, whatever changes come up, very quickly you are empowered by them, you are lifted by them, and you really catch a lucky break of sorts. So there is a lucky break opening up, especially for those people who have a home-based business. Those of you looking to buy or sell in relation to your home, or even to move or make changes on the home front, this is the universe giving you that chance, and it looks like things can move very quickly now and very much to your liking. Hello, fabulous Gemini. This week we have got your ruling planet speaking in supreme harmony with Saturn. We've also got an eclipse taking place as well. So as we've got this eclipse happening in a very romantic part of your chart at that, which does suggest changes on the romance front, on the dating front, on the work front, or sorry, not on the work front, on the flirt front is what I meant to say. Even though we have changes happening there, we still have you feeling solid, feeling secure, feeling stable. And there is a firm grasp now as to what direction you're going in where it comes to the people you want to align yourself with most, whether it is business partnerships or romantic partnerships. So you've got that clarity now. You've got an understanding of what direction you're going in, where it comes to love, and that will allow you to navigate whatever's happening now in the romance department that much easier. There are other ways this energy can also manifest as well. This can be you understanding where you are right now in a project you've been working on for a while. So if there's a project right now involves your creativity, this is going to be a real moment of truth kind of time for you. If you are one of those people who has been working with a friend, this stabilizes that energy that much more. So if you've been working with a friend, this is a really great time to feel and experience and understand how that friend is actually adding to your life, helping you to create greater stability, helping you to create greater consistency, and helping you to build something really solid and really secure. This is a time when the right conversation at the right time can strengthen a bond that creates not only greater prosperity for you, but a real sense of greater success and achievement now and for the time ahead. Hello, fabulous Cancer. There is a eclipse happening in a part of the sky for you that has to do with home. I think now and in the weeks ahead, some Cancerians are going to surprise themselves and a lot of people around them by moving. I do think that a lot of Cancerians out there are going to be downright surprised at themselves even at the chance to move when it does come along. But there are changes indicated on the home front. Now, for some of you, this is going to be changes related to your family of origin, in particular your parents. And so you can expect to hear some news in regards to your parents, some changes that they're making. For some, this will come out a surprise as well. And this is an energy of really dramatic turnarounds as well. And so with the potential to turn around, if you've been concerned about a parent, this is you like really bringing that to the table, being like, okay, I've been worried about you because of this, or getting a clearer picture of what's really going on with them. But ultimately that allows you to understand how they and how you are going to actually help the situation in a way that is effective. For others of you, though, there is a connection here between money and parents as well. So it could be that, I got to say, there's the possibility there of an inheritance coming in a little bit earlier than you expected. And so sometimes I know some parents, if they have an inheritance to give, sometimes they like to give it beforehand because they want to see their kids enjoy it. That might be you now, okay? On the other hand, if you have been really blessed, this might be you sort of surprising your parents by, you know, an act of generosity that just helps to really change the dynamic in a way that does please you as well, that allows you to feel that you're giving something back as well. Strong changes happening on the home front. Again, I think a lot of Cancerians are going to be downright surprised, but ultimately these are changes that are a long time coming and are going to feel really right for you as you're ready to change so many different areas of your life. Hello, fabulous Leo. This week we've got an eclipse taking place, and the eclipse is speaking to Jupiter in your sign. Regardless of what happens, regardless of what feels that there's not a lot of consistency, regardless of what feels uncertain, there are no worries on your part because you will find your solid ground. You will find your way, and you will very quickly identify how it is that you can actually utilize whatever's taking place to your advantage and how you can use it not only to your advantage, but to create greater opportunity for yourself and to set the situation up so that you come out on top. If anybody is likely to come out on top, it's going to be you this week with the changes that occur. It's like you're able to take the truth that comes forward and be, okay, yes, I can run with this. I can use this. I can finally make my life better. And there's a part of you, I do think there's going to be a little bit of an exhale, like, okay, finally it's been said. Finally, I said what I needed to say. Finally, this other person is saying what they need to say. Finally, I understand where I stand. And with that will come a much more empowered way forward at that. What I really do like about this month as well is we've got Mercury and Saturn in fire signs speaking to each other in supreme harmony. So it does suggest that something within you is feeling strong, is feeling steady, and is feeling clear on a level of mind. There are other people around you who might be getting caught up in a whirlwind of emotion, but not you. There's something within you that understands that what is really going on and what it is that you can do now, what plans you can lay now in order to create a really solid future going ahead. Hello, fabulous Virgo. Well, this week we have got Venus and Pluto in Earth signs speaking in supreme harmony while we've got an eclipse taking place in decidedly financial part of your sky. And so I look at this picture and it suggests to me that you are coming to a deepening appreciation, a deepening understanding as to just what it is that you are aiming for, what it is that you're trying to do, not only in terms of your finances, but also in terms of your vision for your life, what's going to feel fulfilling, what's going to make you happy, whether it's with relationships and romance, whether it's with adventure and what you desire to do. You should hear some news that makes you feel positive, makes you feel like, okay, some of the things I've envisioned for my life are coming to pass. So there's a sweetness and a softness around that. At the same time, there are going to be some financial changes that ultimately are going to lead you in a really good place. So don't worry if there are a little bit ups and downs. It's nothing to worry about at all, because very quickly you'll find yourself on top and understanding how you can use the changes to your advantage, seeing the truth of the role that things play in your life, and getting a sense of what is truly essential. When you understand that, really you're going to see how your life is, whether the numbers are there or not. It's almost like the numbers are irrelevant now. Good things are happening in your life, and that is being made abundantly clear to you. Hello, fabulous Libra. What an amazing week it is for you with this eclipse in your sign. Now, I know I've been talking about it. I talked about it in the monthly horoscope. I talked about it in the weeks as we've been going along. There's going to be an eclipse in your sign, and it's going to be a game changer, and here it is. Big changes are afoot, big changes coming up for you, and really it has to do with the shift in the way you understand yourself. And ultimately, this is about you not being able to not be honest with yourself anymore. So wherever it is that there has been a truth that's been lingering in the air and you have not wanted to see it, you have not wanted to acknowledge it, you have not wanted to take an honest evaluation of the situation, the universe is not going to leave you with much choice now. Now, ultimately, this is good. This is going to move you in a great direction, in an awesome direction. It's going to move you in a direction where you are feeling stronger, more stable, more secure, more clear about your path ahead. And I do think that there's an element playing out here that has to do with you becoming more you. And wherever it is that you've sort of gone off that path, this is going to be the universe bringing you dramatically back onto that path. Those of you born right around the 4th or 5th of the month are going to feel this energy more than others. But all Libras out there are going to feel a shift now. And this is going to affect just about every area of your life as you come to understand who you are differently. It's like all of a sudden you see who you were and realize that what you have been doing now is based on who you were and not who you actually are anymore. And as you get that clarity, you will also get a clearer pathway forward. You'll understand exactly what it is that you need to do now so that you can clear and create greater possibility and greater opportunity for yourself as you move further along the road. Hello, fabulous Scorpio. This week we have got the eclipse, of course, but what we've also got is your ruling planet. On the one hand, your ancient ruling planet is changing signs, moving into your opposite sign. And then what we've also got is your modern ruling planet speaking in supreme harmony with Venus. So you add that up and that has love written all over it, right? We've got Venus already in your opposite sign as well. Busy time in love and relationships. This universe is setting the stage for you for more passion, for more romance. Yes, very much on the agenda for you. And I do think that it is going to be people that, on the one hand, you're going to be very motivated to be with somebody, without a doubt, and especially as the month begins. And I gotta say, though, chances are that some of you early in the week are likely to have an experience, a romantic experience of sorts, that really just gets you seeing things very differently, changes a perception for you and gets you thinking, oh, wow, okay, this is how things could be. This is how things can be. This is the direction we could go in if I really wanted to. And I do think that there's an element playing out here that has to do with you having a certain romantic awakening, if you will. And so wherever it is that you've just sort of been accepting things, going along, plodding along, you're not going to be content with that anymore. There's going to be a part of you, I do think, especially with this eclipse, that's going to be feeling downright antsy, that's going to be feeling like something's building you can't put your finger on, whether it's restlessness, I think is going to be a really big theme. Some of you are likely to have some really crazy dreams out there. But all of it ultimately is leading you to get clear on what direction it is you want your life to go, but also your relationships to go as well. And so this is going to be a real desire to partner up. I do think that's going to be happening, and it's likely going to be facilitated by something that might actually be quite innocent, whether it's an innocent flirtation or a message that you get or communication, but something that reminds you that there is romance available to you. It's not just about being in a predictable situation, whether you're single or whether you're with somebody, but that there's real passion and real mystery and a real awakening on offer now. And that really gets not only your imagination going, but also your drive going to want more of it, to want more experiences that feel like an encounter with life. Hello, fabulous Sagittarius. This week we have got Saturn in your sign speaking in supreme harmony with Mercury. And what we've also got is the eclipse taking place. This eclipse is a game changer. I spoke about this in the April horoscopes, which should be up right around this time. You are going to want to have a look at it. I will say this, with this particular eclipse is speaking to your friendships, okay? That's what this eclipse is speaking to. It's seeing a friend in a whole other light. Wherever it is that you've been keeping secrets from a friend that you know you shouldn't be, or a friend's been keeping secrets from you, this is going to be everything, cards on the table, everything coming out for better or worse, which ultimately leads you in a really great place. Because this eclipse is also speaking with Jupiter. So there's lots of positivity, even with the tough questions. There's also a lot of positive energy that speaks right to the heart of you. And then we've got this conversation that suggests something within you is feeling really stable, feeling really strong, feeling really confident, really sure. Something within you is feeling like an absolute rock. And as you connect with that part of yourself, as you come to understand that actually your mind is thinking quite clearly, maybe some passions are being stirred, maybe some people around you, I gotta say, and this is true for the fire signs this week, other people might be creating drama in your life. And so maybe a friend is creating some drama in your life, but you are steady, you are sure, you are calm, you are seeing where your responsibility truly is. Saturn is newly retrograde in your sign right now. You're seeing where your responsibilities truly are, what is the adult way ahead, what is the grown-up way ahead, and how it is that you can embrace it. As you come to a deeper understanding of all of this, as you move your life positively forward in all of this, you are going to find yourself creating a positive shift. And this has to do with a change in which you relate to other people, but also a change in which you understand ultimately what direction you most desire to go in, the vision opening up for your life, and a really practical plan to get you there. And as that practical plan becomes revealed, you will also have the motivation to see those steps through. Hello, fabulous Capricorn. This week we have got Pluto in your sign speaking in supreme harmony with Venus. This conversation to me is like romance on super duper drive. This is romance just being really high, really potent, lots of really sexy energy in the air for you, I gotta say. You add to this the fact that we've got Mars moving into a really romantic part of your sky that has to do with flirting and dating. And you put this together and it suggests the sky is setting you up to experience some really passionate moments this week. Now, a lot of this might not be readily in your awareness immediately, and that is because some of the more passionate moments are set to take place later in April. This week, the dominant energy is going to be the eclipse. The eclipse is happening at the very top of your sky. It's happening in a part of the sky that has to do with your career, your relationship with your bosses. It has to do with the direction in which you believe you're going, what's worth going in, and life purpose as well. And so on a very immediate level, all the earth signs this week are going to be experiencing changes in regards to work and money and career. For you, it's very much about your relationship, again, with your bosses and what you're achieving. This can be a shift in power as well, I gotta say. So this can be a female, in particular, a female boss leaving, but not necessarily. But it can be a boss leaving or a change in structure so that who you're reporting to and the people most immediately you're reporting to changes. If you are the boss, this could be how you understand your role and what you're actually doing going through a shift as well. As I said, it's a big week of career and achievement and understanding where it is that you're going. And because this is an eclipse, this is really going to be like sort of acknowledging what has brought you to this point and what hasn't worked. And for some people, this is going to mean the end of one situation. But ultimately, that needs to happen to create greater possibility and wealth for yourself. The wealth is indicated there, and the type of wealth that is indicated comes from like things like investment money, grants, loans, bursaries, that type of money, very blessed right now. And so if you've been involved with somebody or been involved in a certain plan ahead, and that seems to be now falling apart, you might surprise yourself with a little bit of changes, or by letting one person go, you actually may end up surprising yourself as you find a new source of funding and a new source of income in order to fund whatever your dreams are, whatever it is that you desire to do. And of course, as I said, life purpose, just what are you doing it all for? That gets a burst of clarity. And wherever it is that maybe you've been holding yourself back, putting blocks in your own way, wherever it is that maybe you've been sabotaging your best efforts, the universe is going to make sure that you are more honest with yourself, that you're clear with yourself, so that that in itself puts you on a pathway towards achieving the things that matter to you most. Hello, fabulous Aquarius. This week we have got an eclipse taking place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with your place in the world and stepping out onto more of the world as well. And it has to do with understanding a vision for your life. What is it that you need to put into place so that you can manifest those really great things that you desire for yourself? A change is coming, a shift is coming with this as well. And when I see something like this, a sky like this, several things become very evident to me. So I said your place in the world. If there are any immigration issues, you should hear some news right about now. Now, it could go either way, but I'm not seeing it like, it looks like you're very empowered by the way things go, and people are there to help you and support you. But I gotta say, I mean, I looked at this, I looked at where Pluto was. If you know anything about astrology, I mean, this is like sort of getting news. Your immigration application didn't go as well as you hoped it would, and so you run off and marry somebody. You think, okay, that's going to solve the issue, which it might. But really, it's other people being there with you, being willing to align with you, that ends up empowering your place in the world. So literally, in terms of where you are in the world, but also this has to do with the larger understanding of how much you're putting yourself out there as well. And so wherever it is that maybe you haven't been allowing yourself to start doing those things you know you need to do to create greater possibility and opportunity for yourself, you are going to start to put certain things in place. You are going to start doing just those very things. And I think, as I look at the sky for you this month, that you are ready to share in new ways and in bigger ways, and that there very likely are going to be supporters who want to help you in that process as well. So whether it's sharing in new ways, like just like sharing more of yourself, more skills, more ideas, whether it's sharing in new languages, whether it's exploring new philosophies as well, all of that. It's about what's next. It's about what you have not done before that is going to capture your attention most. I do think also that with this opportunity to travel could come up very quickly, very much out of the blue, and there is something downright karmic about it. And so if you are called to go somewhere, whether it's, you know, you're like, I mean, I remember one of my former profs, Patrick Curry, he's this amazing, you know, leading academic in astrology. And he once said that going to the library is divination. And what he meant by that is, you know, as you're like looking through the collection that they have online, as you're clicking along, and he said Google was divination as well. So what he meant was, as you're browsing and clicking, ultimately the universe is presenting you with information that you need in order for you to get the message that you are meant to get. And this really stayed with me. And really, as I look at this, it really could be just that type of thing where you are just clicking along online or as you're going about your day, and all of a sudden you see a picture of a place or something says, fly here really cheap, and you just feel really called. You feel like, I can do this. I have that amount of money. I can actually go on this trip. If that happens, trust it. As I said, the opportunity to travel could come about super fast in a snap of a finger, and it will lend itself to some very powerful experiences that could change not only how you see yourself, but also change what you understand as true in the world, have a positively sort of conversion effect, if you will, on the philosophies that guide your life. So whether it's with travel, whether it's with ideas, allow yourself to know more than you did before, and you'll be very glad for it. Hello, fabulous Pisces. This week we have got a lot of energy happening in a part of the sky for you that has to do with what astrologers call other people's monies. This is stuff like grants, loans, bursaries, insurance payments, benefits, inheritances, tax returns, investment income, passive income, all of that very highlighted now this week. And as I look at the sky for you this week, I gotta say there's such a powerful sort of momentum building around you creating greater prosperity for yourself. I do think that the chance for you to actually do that is likely to be there, likely to come out of nowhere. This can also be where all of a sudden, now this can go a few different ways. This could be all of a sudden a big check showing up for you. This could be a conclusion to a settlement issue that's been going on. But this can also be the end of that, because ultimately it is a full moon and it involves endings. It involves things coming to fruition. So either you're going to get like some large payout which finishes it off, or if you've been receiving some sort of benefits or some sort of income stream, a passive income stream, that could come to an end now as well. But ultimately this is about you understanding that you are very resourceful and getting a clearer idea of what resources you need to do what it is that you most desire to do. On a deeper level, this eclipse does speak to a change in your sort of, this is really like a psychological rebirth. This is the part of the sky that has to do with life, death, rebirth, psychological regeneration. And I do think that the sky is suggesting that you really, if you're involved in some sort of process of therapy or self-development, this could be a time of breakthrough. I mean, usually when you go through these processes, you're going along week to week, you're plugging along slowly but surely in the faith that it'll make your life better. You feel a little better every time you go. But then sometimes you have that one session that's like 25 sessions roll into one, where you have like this big breakthrough and this big understanding. And that's what I'm actually seeing happen for you now. There's going to be some sort of big understanding, big breakthrough that will in turn allow you to really feel like you're just seeing your whole life and your whole situation very differently. Big changes can come about with this, you know, like situations can end very dramatically, but ultimately it's what needs to happen if you are going to be reborn. And really the foundation to this is honesty and allowing your energy to shift. Wherever it is that you've been blocking greater prosperity from finding you, from coming your way, this is going to be that time when you get out of the way and allow yourself to be a better version of yourself than you knew before. Well, thank you so much to all signs out there. It'll be a great week. Enjoy.